Hello, everybody. So thanks for joining us today in Family Connect. As Lauren said, I'm here to have a wee chat with you about our exciting new travel training program that we've already started delivering. We've been having great success with it in terms of people engaging and enjoying it. I've got a wee presentation, so I'll just share that just now, and then we can take it from there. And if you've got any questions at the end, I'm happy to answer whatever I can. Okay, so I will do a wee share. I've also learned I have to share my sound as well. So.
I always forget that bit and get halfway through and
then... I know. Okay, so I'm just gonna slideshow. Okay. There we are. Can everybody see that okay?
Yeah, looks good.
And okay, so I'm just going to put it onto my notes as well. Is it still just the full screen for you guys?
Yep.
Smashing. Okay, so here we are, Enable Travel. We've got a wee welcome session that we're going to run through, and it just tells you a little background to the programme, a little bit about what we do. We've got a wee short film in it from a member who talks about his independent travel journey and what it means to him to be able to do so. And then we can talk about, there's two elements to the programme. There's a workshop element and there's a travel buddy element that we can take forward. So I'll just move on to the next slide. As I say, my name is Jane McDonald. I've worked with Enable for a very long time. Independent travel has always been something that the members that we work with speak about a lot. There are a lot of issues with travelling, and through this funding, we wanted to look at ways to connect people into different online elements that seem to be coming more and more into the independent travel journey, that allow people to access the information that's out there. So the course itself is delivered online, and it talks about using different apps which are out there, because what we're finding is more and more information about travel is moving online. So we're trying to upskill people that we support and to be able to access that and use what's out there. I'm just going to move on. Okay, so when we put the project together, we are funded through the Smarter Choices, Smarter Places Fund, and we are looking at these key elements which run through the 3 workshops that we run. So we look at travelling sustainably. The biggest focus of the workshops is around using public transport. We can also, the thing about it is it's all transferable skills. So the skills you learn to use a bus and the skills that you use to learn a train, you know, it's all these journey planning skills that we will use. We're also talking about travelling independently, but there's quite a lot of elements to that. There's lots of areas that you need to consider when you're starting out on that journey. Quite literally, you know, all the planning that goes into place, the anxiety that might come up, how you deal with that. We talk very much about travelling safely. So we want the people we support to feel as safe as possible in their journeys. And then we look at planning out journeys in real time so that people can get a real sense of how it is to plan a journey. Now we do that, we've got in the 5th element key training area here, we've said travel buddies and Enable Me app. What I would say is the Enable Me app actually runs right through all 3 workshops, and it is the focus for helping people. I don't know if any of you have heard of our Enable Me app. It's been there for a while. It was developed by our employment services, but there's an element of it that helps people plan out their own personal journeys, helps them record those journeys, and helps them look back on those journeys. There's also an element of that app that helps people if they're feeling anxious or if things go wrong. So it's a really, really useful app that people to move through any journey that they're planning, whether that be from, for example, when I'm doing the first round of training, what I do is I do a journey from my desk to my kitchen, just to show people it's really, really simple to use, and you can practice with it at home before you even step foot outside. The Travel Buddies element of the programme is optional. So as I say, it's 3 standalone workshops that will talk about independent travel skills. What we encourage people to do is to take those skills forward. So we're looking for people that who go through the training to identify someone in their close circle that could become a travel buddy. So that can be a family member or a friend. We will then work with both the person who just went through the training and their travel buddy to practice these skills and take them forward. And they can check in with us about different elements of the journey or issues that they feel are coming up. as they practice these skills. So we keep touching base with people to make sure that that's moving forward. Okay, so this is a breakdown of the workshop delivery. Workshop 1 looks at the benefits of independent travel. It gets people really thinking about why they're going on this training course, why it's important to have these skills and what use it will be to them down the line. We talk about the different types of journeys people might be embarking on. As I say, mostly it's public transport. Some people do talk about just wanting to practice walking journeys, and that's fine, because that is the first way you start to build up your skills and do it slowly. Is it might just be you want to be able to walk from your home to the local shop, and you're really just, you know, really anxious about doing that and worried because you've never been anywhere by yourself. So as I say, the skills are very much transferable. And then we'd look at the Enable Me app, and we have an overview of that. We've got some really useful video links that we can share with people as well, so they can go back and visit it and keep thinking about those different parts of that app that they can use. Workshop 2 is about travel planning and the information apps that are all out there. There's lots and lots of apps, so we talk people through quite a few of them. What we find is that there are the things that you input into these apps generally is the same, so we help people think about the information they need to put in, and then we talk to people about finding the one that suits them best for the journey that they want to plan. And then as I say, we plan a journey in real time. So I actually take people outside. I have 2 phones. I have one phone that has people in the meeting room and have my other phone with the app, and then we can show people step by step how easy it is just to plan a journey from my front door to the local post box, and how easy it is to just do those different steps for the app. And the third workshop is about safety. We get people to think about all the different safety elements you need to consider, where you're traveling, when you're traveling, what time of night it is. We talk about weather, all these different things that you might not really consider when you're stepping out the door to go somewhere, but it's all these little bits that if you address them before you step out on that journey, you'll feel a lot better. We talk about the personal support section. The Enable Me app has a really good personal support section. It has a place for questions. If you've got any questions about your journey, it has a bit that you can input what helps you feel calm and your calming strategies into that. It also has a direct link to your emergency contact. So you can get in touch with someone if you're feeling like the journey's gone wrong, or you're lost, or you're not sure of anything. You can send that person a very quick message that sends them your location as well. So if calm you down and think about the next steps that you would have to take. Workshops 1 and 2 also have relearning tasks that they're sent away with to keep the skills being practiced when it's in between weeks for the workshops. Okay, so we spoke to a member, Peter McMahon, about his independent travel and what it means to him, because what we found was a lot of families are very, very anxious about their children, whether it be young teenagers or right through to adults, you know, stepping out and learning these skills on their own. And so Peter talks a wee bit about that, and you know, his parents were just as apprehensive. So I'm just going to play the wee film, and we can have a wee chat about it at the end. Let's hope this works. Okay. Here we are.
Hi Peter, how are
Does
you?
that sound okay?
Fine, again.
Good. Thanks very much for coming on, sharing your travel experience with our enabled travellers. So if you don't mind, Peter, would you be able to tell everybody here just a little bit about yourself?
My name is Peter McMahon. I'm a member of Enable Scotland. I'm also a member of the Glasgow branch of Enable. And thank goodness there's no commitment in dinner. It's too dark.
It is too dark and quite wet as well, which can put people off travelling, to be fair. But other than just the ACE group and the Glasgow branch, what other things are you interested in, Peter?
Yeah, I've just recently joined the drama at the Bridge, but I started in October, but I've got more serious because I've joined the day class as well as the night class.
Brilliant. And you're a keen dancer now as well, I'm seeing.
Yes.
So it's really good, really interesting that you're able to build loads of interest and first and foremost that you're able to get there, and when you're able to travel independently, that allows you to do a little bit more. And what I'm really interested to hear, and I'm sure our listeners of the Enable Travel Group will be interested to hear as well, is your experience of travelling. So do you mind sharing a little bit about your travel experience from a young age right through to where you are just now?
Well, Liam, I went to nursery and I was picked up by a minibus. I went to primary, I was picked up by a big school bus. I went to secondary, I was picked up by a taxi every day. So I didn't know what mode, what a bus, a train, or the underground or anything was in here, because when I left school, I joined Wheatley College, and one of the options was independent travel. That was one of the core subjects when people join college in the early years, when college wanted bums and seats for people with learning disabilities.
Yeah. So when you're talking about independent travel, so of nursery, get that you're getting taken to and from. Primary school, I can see that till you maybe get to the P6, P7, going into first year, and then you start to become a wee bit more independent. And I think that comes down to your parents. What was your parents' thoughts on you becoming an independent traveller?
Oh, well, when they saw the options for the college, and nearly to them, you could have hit them with a feather. And I said, look, I need to learn. I said, it's come a day when you are no longer here, but it's proved they're no longer here, and I'm able to do things. I mean, I think if their input wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to keep this house and do the house work and do the stuff if they hadn't pushed it.
Yeah, and they give you that independence in that aspect. But in terms of travel, there was probably something that made them just a little bit worried to allow
Really.
you to go out and do that, and that's completely understandable. But a big part of what we're going to be talking about in training is personal responsibility as well. And I think you demonstrated that independence and personal responsibility to the point that you wanted to go out and learn to become an independent traveller. And I think, Peter, becoming an independent traveller now allows you to do all the things that you're doing anyway. You know, your day class and your night classes, and going to the Glasgow Ace and Glasgow branch. And I know you're keen to get out and about. You like to go to the fort. You've skinned me for a coffee and marshmallows. You're on the next one.
Okay,
But being able to independently travel allows you that independence to go and do things. Peter, do you have a national entitlement card?
yes, I've got a gold one.
And what does the national entitlement card allow you to do?
Because I'm a visually impaired user now, you get visually impaired people get free travel on the trains, the Clockwork Orange, which is the underground, the Glasgow Underground, and buses, ferries.
Okay, and are you allowed a companion to go on the bus with you, or the
Well,
train, or?
Well, when I applied for my new van, I didn't bother picking for the companion, because you get hoodlums van to be a plus van, and people you don't really want is your plus van.
Right, okay. And I think that's a really important part to bring in, and that is a travel buddy. Have you got someone who you would rely on and trust to be a travel buddy to help you learn how to travel new routes and do different things?
Well, that's let me get it. John Dunn or Chris or Marvin or James Terry.
Right, okay, so you've got quite.
Member of the visually impaired team will show me a new route.
Yep. So that's quite a few you could choose from to help you and support you to learn new routes, especially with your visual impairment, which is always handy. I'm going to ask you, could you give the guys who are here today some information or the good stuff to why they should learn to become a more independent traveller?
Well, I think if you're living with your parents, I think your parents should say, it's time I let my son or daughter go and learn the big world, learn what's out there in the bad world, because I'll not always be here.
Excellent. And what do you think about the travel buddy then? Do you think a travel buddy would be really important to help support that development?
Well, that's great. But that person, you need to be confident with that person first before you let them show you a route or show you where to go, because you don't want to take that person out and then they might be anxious, they might be scared to get lost, and you would need to reassure that person that you're not going to get them lost.
So, and that is what's important. It's about getting somebody or picking a travel buddy who is going to help you get to where your goal is, and your goal might be to feel confident when making journeys. So it's about picking a travel buddy who is going to support you to get there, and probably somebody who is a confident traveller. So just before we finish, Peter, thanks for sharing your story so far. It's great, and I think a lot of people will take a lot from hearing what you've told us. Just to finish, can you give us your three, I think you've mentioned a couple already, but if you can give us three main methods of travel that you like to use?
My best method of travel, I love going in an express train that gets you to the venue fast, and I like going a wee run in the Clockwork Corns, which is underground, and I like going in a bus as long as you don't need a picnic.
So, an express train, I'm a big fan of express trains. You get you from point A to B a little bit quicker than just your usual trains. The Clockwork Orange, which I've just found out is the subway, and I've just found out that the subway is the Clockwork Orange, and a bus, as long as you don't need to take a picnic on it. So you prefer a shorter picnic, a shorter bus journey, which is understandable. Peter, thanks very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing more from you. Thanks very much, Peter.
Right.
Okay, so that was Peter's experience with independent travel, and as we say, it's, you know, parents can be apprehensive, and that's perfectly natural, but we're hopefully here to try and speak to families about that and involve families in the journey planning and those skill developments as well, so they can see step by step that their child is learning those skills. Okay, so that's me. Has anybody any questions or anything about that?
I can see Bill looks as if he's looking for the
Yeah.
unmute button. He's
Yeah.
off the mark.
Hi, Bill.
I was just going to ask, obviously your companion 2-to-1 card is ideal because you can get the person on the bus or the train with you for free.
Yeah.
But I noticed Peter has said that he didn't do that anymore, right?
Yeah.
But obviously later on he did say that if he needed help, he would rely on people.
I think that was for new routes. Yeah, he was going to try and plan something new out just to be a wee bit more confident. He would speak to someone about, give them a wee bit of support with that. So it's just about those transferable skills. So what we find is people, and we have people who already come along to the training as well, because they might be confident going on, you know, shorter journeys or local journeys, but they're really wanting to branch out and go somewhere further afield. and they're maybe not so confident with that, so they can come onto the training as well. So it's just about either bringing those skills in that they've never practiced before, or taking those skills that they've got and enhancing them and saying, right, where can we take you now?
Brilliant. And just out of interest, Jane, you've been doing the workshops and things. Is it parents that are generally the buddies, or have you seen friends, or is it what sort of?
Yeah, it's mostly been parents at the moment. But as we say, if it could be a friend, it could be an auntie, an uncle, it could be anybody that's got the time to do that with you. And you can practice it as often as you want. You know, it might just be that you go out once a week with your buddy. You know, just whatever suits the timelines that you've both got, really.
Mm-hmm. And it's for adults, right?
Yes.
So there's an age. Yeah. So what did we say it was? 16 plus?
16, yeah, 16 plus.
Brilliant. Rose, were you wanting to ask? Go ahead.
Thanks. So do you access it online? How do you?
Yeah, so we haven't got our dates for the next round of training coming up, but it will be in March, sort of in, I would say, middle to late March. Our new round of dates will come out, and we can, what I'll do is I'll put my email address in the chat before I go, and if you're interested, you can email me and I can send you out the link to register for it. So yeah, it's 3 online workshops. They're generally between an hour to an hour and a half long, depending on how many people are in the workshop and how chatty they are. So it just depends on how the contribution goes. But that's generally what we find is long enough. Yeah, so I can do that. Jean, have you got sorry?
Oh, I was just going to say, and what I'll do is, Rod, I'll send any dates that we get. I'll make sure it goes out to the Family Connect mailing list, so that just everybody knows if there's workshops coming up, and anybody that wants to get involved, you can say.
Thanks.
Sorry, Jean, did you want to come in?
Yeah, we have been getting kicked out of this Zoom and we've missed all of the.
Oh no!
So could you send all the stuff? Could you send it to me so that it's kicked us out of it 6 times?
Oh no, I know, I can see you. I can see you coming and going.
And then it throws us out. So sorry.
What I've done, Jean, is I've actually recorded the session, so you'll probably see us having this conversation when you watch it back.
Right,
but
well,
I'll send that out to everybody, just so that if you want to watch it again, or like yourself, I could see you coming in and out, so I thought you must have an issue.
Oh, I just kept coming in and saying, oh, you're insecure. I don't know what that's all about. I've never had that before. I don't know what's going on, but so I thought it's just throwing us out every time you speak, or it freezes, and then we're like, whatever. So it's just flickering away.
We'll send that out to you.
Right just now, and if you send it to me, because we've lost all the thread of it, so.
Of course, we'll send it to you, and I'll let you know when Jane and the team figure out new dates and things like that. I'll let you know about that as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Sorry about that, girls.
Oh, you're fine. Good to see you, Jane.
Bye.
Bye, Jackie. Bye.
I'll stop sharing this just now. We can maybe have a wee bit of discussion as well, because you know, maybe you're thinking about it, but maybe you are apprehensive about, you know, your son or daughter taking part in it. You know, if there are questions, or you have any worries, if you've tried it before, you know, this is a good place to talk about it.
You know, I was interested because but I was when I looked at the February dates, I just couldn't make the 3 dates in a row. My daughter's 18 just now, so
right.
Grace has got Down syndrome and she's 18. So and you know, it's a good way to start. Oh, there you go.
Yay.
So she wants to, so it's quite good to say, right, you know, it's a plan, somewhere to start.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I was interested. It's just that she's still at school just now as well, so you're trying to balance because of the timing of the 3 days.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at that as well in terms of timing for deliveries for young people who are in school. But also, I don't know if schools would be approachable to be saying to them, you know, there's this workshop on, and you know, could Grace join in on that, you know, when she has, if it fits in with her curriculum time as well. But what we're finding is a lot of young people who are coming up to transition, especially this period after the Easter holidays, might be a good time.
At the time, as I said, I had just realised, and I think it was the next week or the next day, So I thought the three, because I would have just went down, picked her up for school, done it, and taken her back again.
Yeah.
But it was just I couldn't commit to the three of them at that point
Sure.
because we had something on college visits and different things as well.
Yeah.
But you know, certainly we're interested, and we'll just, as you say, I think hopefully the next blocks we can put the three
Absolutely.
dates more.
And
Wendy?
again, it's something you can send around the schools as well, because if it is something that they're interested in, potentially they would have then classroom. You know, I know they've got a lot of smart boards and things. You know, if we were pulled up onto that kind of thing and with the whole class, and maybe have the teacher supporting them as well, because it should be, or it could be part of the transition plan for your daughter as well. I don't know if you've had those kind of transition meetings that talk about where they're going the next steps, and then independent travel should really feature in that in terms of can the school start to support that before she leaves and start that transition?
Well, I don't think there's been, I mean, there's been talk over the periods of time. There's the odd day they went to college, and there was always talk about trying independent travel, but you know, there's always something always got in the way of them actually doing any of it. So yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, it's good to just start. So we'll be starting online and talking about all the different things.
Yeah, and a lot of our members have talked about.
Sounds interesting as well.
Yeah, and the app's there. You can have a wee look at it. It's free to download. It's called Enable Me.
Right, so you don't even need to do it. You can just have a look at that anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's pretty self-explanatory. And if you go on YouTube, there are tutorials. But as we take people through it step by step and really plan out the bits and pieces of it. But we have been hearing about people that have tried the independent travel and it's not worked so well. So and I know a lot of people struggle with online stuff, but unfortunately that's something we can't change. So we're just trying to upskill people so that they can access what's out there online.
No, we'll definitely have a look at the app as well, won't we? Interesting.
Brilliant.
You like a wee app, like an app, don't you?
Wendy, I was just going to say, I don't know if you're already on our Family Connect mailing list, but it's just a wee email that you'd get to tell you what was coming up, and so the dates I would send them out, things like that.
Yes.
So if you're not already, pop your email in the chat. And
I got an email. I got an email today
brilliant.
because I think I asked last week for the password last week, but I just missed it. So
brilliant.
I'm now on it.
That's brilliant. So any dates that I get or any information, I'll send it around the group, and then you can obviously get in touch with Jane or Liam that you saw in the video.
Yes, because it's only recently we've been in contact with Susan, our local area coordinator, and it was her that told us about it.
I work with Susan as well, so I'm in the East Rhine LAC team as well. So that's the other hat that I wear. So yeah, she's
So Susan's been out for a couple of visits talking about that kind of thing as well, you know, and she so yeah, I thought this is interesting. It's all come up at the same time.
Yep, brilliant.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining us, Wendy. Is there any other questions for Jane around the stuff that you've seen, or as she said, any apprehension or anything that you want to discuss before I let her go, release her? No?
But yeah, I mean, definitely the apprehension, because you just never feel.
Of course, that's natural. And Grace, are you ready to strike out on your own? Are you ready to use the buses and the trains by yourself?
Even even schools,
no with her, so
not with me. And that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, she wants to do it, but not with me. So it's finding the right buddy. Because again, she wants to walk home from school and do things like that. But what you try and say is, we need a plan first. We need a plan for everything.
But remember, I was on myself because I was with Lisa and Scott.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. No. It sounded the app sounded interesting as well, and things to do with that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. No, it sounds great to me. To be honest, I obviously knew about the project and things, but I'd never actually seen you talking through it, Jane. So it really sounds brilliant, and I just love Peter that we saw in the video. So I just absolutely adore Peter. So it was great to see him there as well. But it sounds like a really brilliant project, and as you say, everything is online now. So if we're able to upskill people and make them a wee bit more comfortable with using that type of thing, then then that's brilliant. So, but no, it sounds great. So,
And
there's
again, particularly when it was talking about if you come up against a problem, because it's trying to know what you do when you come when something doesn't go right, when that bus doesn't come that you're waiting for, or again when you know, I know for example one of Gracie's friends, you know, learnt for maybe a year to travel on the bus, and she was fine in the bus every day, but then one day it was raining and the windows were all fumed up. So she didn't know where to get off. So you know, it's those, you always think about things that you don't allow for. You know.
Yeah, and a lot of things that we've heard from people is like, you know, there seems to be a lot of detoured buses as well. Like suddenly the bus is going off in a different direction that you don't recognise. So we can help to plan. You know, the app's good for planning for that as well. Like, it can get in touch with you, and you know, when Grace could go, "Mum, I don't know where I am," and it sends her exact location to you in a map location. You know, so that you can pinpoint where she's at, walk her through the next steps. And I think it's just really useful in that sense that you can find out where she's at right away and just give that immediate help.
Yes.
You know, and then if the bus is going to be going on a detour for a while, then what you can do is use the app to then record the detour journey so that it just records the kind of A's and B's of it, of where the bus might go. It's quite handy.
Because again, when our friend was on the bus, it was a case of she had phoned her mum and she was speaking to her mum on the bus, but you're still thinking, well, actually, our mum was trying to say, well, who should she, you know, you can't just say to a passenger, could you help me? Because you don't know what passenger can actually speak.
Yeah,
you know,
it is
there's lots
a difficult
of things
one.
in it.
But in terms of that, what we do encourage people to do is to speak to the drivers, and we've heard some drivers are more helpful than others, you know, but they should be ready and willing to help, especially when they see the national entitlement card that alerts them to the fact this person's got concessionary travel. You know, it should be enough for them to say, right, I need to help this person now. You know.
So Grace has, or it's a bus pass, but I don't think it like does trains and stuff. Is it just a bus pass you get?
It's free bus travel. It depends on the type of card you've got. It's free bus travel, and I think it's discounted train travel.
Right.
I think Sir was talking about, because he's a visual impairment, I think that maybe gives them extra benefits to it. But so we talk about that as well, and we talk about, because a lot of people have struggled with their cards, about letting the card expire, about if they've lost their card. So we talk about how, again, back to personal responsibility of having reminders on your phone when your expiry date's coming up, and giving a good 6 to 8 weeks before that you apply for a new one, you know, because again, I do think it would be common sense for people to be automatically sent them out, but that doesn't happen. So it's about saying, well, I need to take control of this, and I have to make sure I've got it on my diary to apply for this in time.
You know, the more problems you find out about gives you more reassurance that you're kind of covering everything that you couldn't think of.
No, that's great. So definite more sessions coming. We'll let everybody know the dates. And sounds great. So I'll make sure to share any information with the group.
There will be a rolling programme, so if the next dates that come up don't suit you, there will be more. Just keep rolling out throughout the year.
That's brilliant.
Okay. It's just finding the best three when you can actually act on it and put it into place and do so you've got the space in between to do the work on it as well.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Sounds great. Sounds fantastic, Jane. Thank you so much for joining us. We really
not at all.
Really appreciate you giving up your time to come and tell us all about that.
Not at all. That's grand. Okay. So I'll look forward to meeting you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, Jane.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.